Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into what is probably the most provocative, misunderstood, and honestly fascinating concept from Napoleon Hill's classic book, Think and Grow Rich. We are talking about the mystery of sex transmutation. If you've ever found yourself wondering what truly separates the people who achieve monumental success from those who just kind of get by, well, Hill's research points to a very specific, deeply biological answer.
So let's kick things off with a pretty wild question. What is the single most powerful human drive out there? And how on earth does it actually relate to building wealth? Because Hill found that our strongest, most primal biological emotion has a direct, undeniable link to financial success and even genius-level achievement. But it's probably not in the way you might think.
Section 1. Defining sex transmutation. Let's get right to what this controversial-sounding term actually means. Hill is very clear that he is not talking about a purely physical act here. It is a deliberate mental redirection. In plain English, to transmute just means changing one form of energy into another. And in this specific context, it means consciously switching your mind from thoughts of physical expression over to thoughts of creative, artistic, or focused business effort. You're essentially taking the most powerful internal stimulus you possess and, well, just changing the channel. Now, here's a massive distinction you have to get right. True transmutation is absolutely not about repressing or eliminating your natural desire. I mean, trying to dam up a river never works, right? The water will always force an outlet eventually. Instead, this is about giving that intense desire a productive outlet. You're harnessing that raw energy and funneling it into willpower and forms of expression that actually enrich your mind, your spirit, and yeah, your bank account.
Hill sums this up with a massive claim. He states that, quote, "Sex energy is the creative energy of all genii," end quote. He looked at historical figures over thousands of years and said with total certainty that there has literally never been a great leader, builder, or artist who didn't possess this driving force. It is the raw fuel for outstanding achievement.
Section 2. Redirecting primal energy.
You've got to remember the sheer scale of Hill's research here. He didn't just pull us out of thin air. He spent 12 years analyzing over 25,000 people to uncover these wealth secrets. And when he looked into how people redirect this specific energy, he found an incredibly surprising statistic about age and success.
That magic number? It's 40. Hill realized that men who achieve outstanding success rarely begin to do so before they hit 40. In fact, a lot of them don't even really hit their true stride until they are well into their 50s.
So, why 40? Well, Hill argues the primary reason men fail to reach high levels of success before that age is because they dissipate their energy. They scatter it to the wind through overindulgence instead of transmuting it into focused business willpower. This is huge for your own timeline. Success is frequently delayed because this vibrant energy is scattered rather than focused into a single driving purpose. But once a person realizes this, usually around their late 30s or 40s, they start to harness it. And that is when things absolutely skyrocket.
It's a fundamental biological truth. Hill illustrates it perfectly by pointing out what happens to an animal when you remove this drive. You alter a bull and it loses all its fight. It becomes as docile as a cow. The energy is just gone. But for a driven human, keeping that primal urge intact and consciously choosing to harness it fuels unbelievable ambition. It builds this keen imagination, sheer courage, and an ironclad persistence that you just can't manufacture any other way.
Section 3. The power of magnetism.
So this transmuted energy doesn't just stay trapped inside your head. It actually broadcasts out to everyone around you. Hill calls this personal magnetism, and he says it flows through 5 distinct channels. It's in the firmness of your handshake, it colors your tone of voice, making it sound musical and engaging, it dictates your posture and how you carry yourself, it's in the actual vibrations of your thoughts, and it even shows up in your body adornment, like how meticulously you present yourself to the world.
What Hill discovered is that highly sexed people inherently have a massive supply of this magnetism. Because of this overflowing vital force, they naturally make the absolute best, most efficient salespeople in any industry, period. People are just naturally drawn to energy. This explains exactly why folks who cultivate this force attract the right people, the right opportunities, and ultimately draw vast amounts of money toward them. They're just compelling.
Hill actually gives this direct advice. Transmute the energy of sex into sales enthusiasm. The master salespeople of the world, the highly charismatic leaders, they're already doing this whether they realize it or not. They are taking that intense internal drive, pulling their mind away from pure physical expression, and pouring that exact same raw energy straight into their pitches, their negotiations, and their massive projects.
Section 4.
The motivation to please. This connects our modern pursuit of wealth right back to our most ancient hardwired biology, because honestly, human nature hasn't fundamentally changed since the dawn of civilization. The prehistoric hunter used to go out, face crazy danger, and bring home animal skins to prove his greatness and win favor. Today's wealth builder is doing the exact same thing. The tools have just changed. Instead of animal skins, we're talking fine clothes, luxury cars, and massive bank accounts. The underlying motivation is absolutely identical.
Hill points out very plainly that a man's greatest motivating force is his desire to please a woman. That inherent biological push is the hidden engine behind building massive fortunes and attaining heights of power. He even argues that without this specific underlying motivation, a lot of history's greatest fortunes and biggest industries simply would never have been built. The drive for wealth is incredibly tied to the drive to impress and provide.
Section 5. Unlocking True Genius. Let's pull all this together into Hill's actual step-by-step formula for unlocking true genius. Because pure primal energy on its own, it's powerful, sure, but it's like an uncontrollable cyclone. To reach genius status, you need a triad. First, sex provides the pure driving force, the ambition and the action. Second, love acts as a crucial safety valve, providing balance and poise. And third, romance blends those two together, lifting the mind to the supreme altitude of a genius.
That blending is absolutely crucial. If you're driven solely by the primal urge, you might act ruthlessly or let destructive greed take over just to get wealthy. But when you mix love into that drive, everything shifts. It brings a real calmness of purpose and total accuracy of judgment. It makes sure all that immense energy is channeled into constructive, fair, and positive business effort. Love essentially keeps the pursuit of wealth grounded in sanity.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a pretty massive question to ask yourself about your own potential. Are you unconsciously dissipating your greatest, most potent source of creative energy? Or are you actively making the choice to transmute it, to deliberately redirect it into your work, your magnetism, and your purpose, to unlock your own ultimate wealth and true genius? That energy is already sitting there inside you. How you choose to use it is entirely up to you. Thanks for joining me on this one.